Hey, Combo Smooth again, coming at you with my 2024 games of the year. Obviously, these are just my games of the year. These are just the games I've played. They don't have to actually have come out in 2024. And I'm going to give them to you quick and dirty. I'm not going to put these in any real order, but I'm going to start off with Balatro. So I played Balatro this year for the first time. Like everyone else, I think it's pretty good. But I will say I've played a lot of these kinds of card games since like Slay the Spire has come out, and I think Balatro is missing a little something. I think it's missing maybe a little quantity. It just needs more stuff, and with more stuff I think it would be like a crazy good game as opposed to just a really good game. I'm going to talk about Lords of the Fallen. Lords of the Fallen is okay. It's a Souls-like. It's a sequel to Lords of the Fallen or the Lords of the Fallen. I hate that kind of naming convention. Name it Lords of the Fallen 1 and Lords of the Fallen 2. Whatever. So I played the sequel to Lords of the Fallen, and I think it's maybe as good as Dark Souls 2, aka the worst Dark Souls. I think it has the same problems as Dark Souls 2, which is like there's a lot of annoying stuff. Like there's always too many enemies trying to mess with you, and it's just annoying in that way, and it almost becomes a hassle sometimes. I think a lot of the bosses become easy as well, just like in Dark Souls 2. They're not super difficult to beat once you get the hang of the game, and at best they just throw more annoying stuff at you. I think one of the good things about Lords of the Fallen is that it has a pretty interesting gimmick in that lamp, and you can see this whole other world that's like underlaid or overlaid, or your world's overlaid with it. And you can go into that world and you can see glimpses of it if you pull up your lamp. And I think that's pretty sweet. However, I don't think they necessarily used it in the best way. Going into that other world is like pointless half the time. Half the time they're like, go into that other world, cross one bridge. Okay, now come back out of that other world. So it's like, why go into it at all? Plus, that other world has like a infinite enemy spawning mechanic, which is more annoying than anything. I think they should have... I think there was a better way to use that mechanic, and I would still play a sequel because I think they're gonna get there. I'm gonna talk about Lies of P. Lies of P, I started off thinking was meh, but by the end of it I really enjoyed it. I've played a lot of Souls games, so I don't really think any of these games are super difficult. I think I was able to get through a lot of Lies of P just playing off my knowledge how these games work, but I think Lies of P feels really good. I think that's a good selling point for it. It feels really good. It doesn't have anything like super unique, like at least like say Lords of the Fallen had that whole lantern mechanic. This game doesn't really have anything super unique. People talk about how you can combine every item, every handle of any weapon with any head of any weapon, but that doesn't feel super unique to me either. I feel like that's just a weapon system, that's just weapons. So I feel like the movement is really clutch, it's really key, it's really Souls-like, and I think the combat encounters and the maps are really good, and I think the story is also decent as well. So I think Lies of P really works well for a Souls-like. It's probably my first favorite Souls-like right now. I played Gravity Circuit just recently. Gravity Circuit is in that Mega Man Zero kind of games, and I think it works. I think it feels like them. I think it plays well. I don't like it as much as any of those games, but how could I? I'm so nostalgic for Mega Man. It's one of my favorite games ever. And Mega Man X specifically. I actually wasn't super crazy about the Zero games. I might even prefer this to the Zero games, but I still think overall the package is really strong for Gravity Circuit. I would recommend it easily. That's 4 games. I actually have a hard time picking a 5th game. I played a stupid amount of Soulstone Survivors this year, and I don't think it's a great game. I haven't played too many Survivor-like games, but I have put a lot of hours in this one because it's easy to play this game while you watch something else on the side. And I have a ADD like that. I need to watch something on the side and play a game at the same time half the time. I also played a bit of Windblown. It's an early access. It's by a bunch of the developers of Dead Cells, and I think it's pretty good, but it has that early access problem where it's like I feel like I exhausted already and quickly everything I could do in that game. So I'm having a hard time picking a 5th one, so why don't I throw in my 2 to 3 recurring games all into one slot and call them my 5th slot for best game of 2024. We got Rocket League. Rocket League been the best game since 2015. I've slowed down my Rocket League as of recently, but it's just so good. It feels good. It feels fast. It's just one of the great sports games in my opinion, if not just the best sports game ever. Heck, I think it's the best soccer game ever. Get out of here, FIFA. What do you got on rocket powered cars? And then there's also Chivalry 2. Chivalry 2 is a game that I enjoy very much. It's very silly. It's also very technical, and it's very fun. It's just fun. There's nothing can describe it more than just fun. You run in, there's objectives, most people ignore them because what's fun about it is getting to fight and cut people's heads off and throwing objects at them and shooting yourself off a catapult, land in enemy territory and fighting 10 guys and having to mess them up. I think it's a bit of a shame that the development of Chivalry 2 has pretty much stopped. They're not releasing any more new content because I think it could use more new content, and I think they could actually rework a lot of the maps that they made, because a lot of the last 6 maps they made aren't that good in my opinion. But I think Chivalry 2 as a package is still very amazing. Anyway, that's been my 2024. There's a few games I left off this list because I just didn't really feel the need to talk about them, like Liar's Bar. I thought that was okay. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. It's whatever. It's another Survivor game. It's a bit easy. Played a bit of Deadlock. Thought it was okay as well. Yeah. I think that's good. We'll call that there. I've been Combo Smooth once again. This is the Odd Squad Originals. Hit us with a like. Hit us with a subscribe. Tell us what you've liked. Tell us what you didn't like. Peace. I actually had to record this a few times. The last time I did it, I did the recording, and then a few days later I went back through the footage and had a massive hair coming out of me. And by that I mean my girlfriend has really long hair, and I just saw her hair coming out of my cheek, just like a huge whisker. And I filmed the whole thing like that. And I don't super care about my appearance. You can tell by my sunken eyes and disheveled look and my double sweater combination. But I'm I can't have a huge silly whisker coming out of my side. That's too ridiculous. Anyway, that's my story. Maybe it was funny. My reflection, I'm just asking who that man. Caught up in the